Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. One of the main complaints regarding Avowed that I heard before the game was released was that it had no romances. And a lot of people, of course, who enjoy RPGs were disappointed to see that left out. But it turns out that there actually is romance in Avowed. Now, it's not fully developed the way you would see in like a Witcher or Dragon Age game, but it has been implemented in a very interesting way. There's one romance you can have with a companion, and there's another romance you can have with a non-companion. Both of them are secret, they're not telegraphed, and I plan to talk about the companion romance in this video. Obviously, that is a spoiler. So if you're worried about spoilers, both of who the romance is and regarding the quest that you have to complete in order to unlock this romance, then obviously this is not the video for you. Otherwise, I'm glad you're sticking around. I'm not going to talk about the other romance because even though I'm aware of it, I haven't unlocked it for myself. But once I do, I'll probably make a video guide showing you all how to make that happen as well. All right, if you're still here, I'll assume that you're not worried about spoilers, and therefore I can let you know the secret companion romance is with Kai. A lot of people were complaining, saying, how can you have Garrus's voice but not allow us to romance him? And it turns out Obsidian actually does allow you to do that. Now, again, keep in mind, it's not a full-blown thing. There's no scene of you rolling in the hay or kissing scene or anything like that. It's more so about a commitment between you two, that you have mutual respect and that there's mutual love and affection there as well, and that you would like to explore it more once the game is finally ended. All right, I want to make sure I set expectations before we get into this guide. All right, with that being said, I'm assuming you're still interested, so let's get into it. First and foremost, you'll automatically recruit Kai as a companion during the main story, so you don't have to worry about that. Shortly after recruiting him, you're going to enter in a situation where someone attempts to assassinate you, and you have to track down who this assassin is. You'll finally confront your would-be killer, Igwolf, at the end of a quest called An Untimely End, and you'll have the option to either kill him or spare him. You have to choose the option to spare him if you want to be able to romance Kai. Now, keep in mind, this is one of about 5 checks the game makes in order to unlock a secret dialogue with Kai. I'm not sure if you actually need all 5 of them. So it's possible if you already did this quest that you can still try to move forward and you'll be able to unlock him anyway. But the safe thing to do, obviously, would be to go ahead and make sure that you go ahead and spare him. Regardless, when you are ready to move on from Dawn Shore, which is the first area of the game, and then enter into the Emerald Stair, you'll have a conversation with Kai, where he talks about how glad he is that you did that, and he'll give you a quest called Battle Scars, where he wants you to visit the cabin of a deceased friend of his named Tama. So once you're able to visit the Emerald Stair, go ahead and visit that cabin. You'll quickly figure out that not only was Kai in love with Tama, but Tama was also in love with him, something Kai was not previously aware of. And he's going to take a small figurine and put it on a necklace in memory of his deceased friend. Now that ends what you need to do directly for Kai, but there are 2 other things you need to do in the Emerald Stair before you complete the main quest, Ancient Soil. The first is you need to do the side quest Steel Resolve, and you can start this by heading over to the Ranger headquarters location and then speaking with Ranger Asierno. She will give you a quest to track down a traitor who has popped up within the Ranger organization and appears to be killing them. This is actually a long quest that'll have you visiting multiple areas, but at some point you will finally track down who the traitor actually is. It is important when you get to the end of that quest that you go ahead and eliminate the Ranger traitor and do not spare them or work with them. The second thing that you need to ensure that you do is to save Fior Mes Everno before leaving Emerald Stair. Now, the way that you do this is, once again, before you have started Ancient Soil, find a location called the Waterfall Cave. That's actually not far from the city. In there, you're going to come across an entire camp of Steel Garrote members, and you've got to completely eliminate them in order to ensure they're not able to attack the city towards the end of your time in this area. Once you have completed that, you will have effectively saved Fior Messerverno. And then after you've done everything else in Emerald Stair, you're going to get automatically a conversation with Kai, where he's going to ask about your feelings and about your personal mission. And you're going to have an option that says, I follow my principles, not my commands. Make sure you select that option. Once all of this is done and you're on your way to Shatterscarp, which is the third area in Avowed, you're automatically going to get another quest from Kai. And this time, he wants you to find the badge of his friend. Go ahead and do that and then select supportive options for what he has to say. Next up, he's going to ask to visit the memorial of his friend. So once again, go ahead and visit that location and then pick dialogue options that support him. The dialogue options you select here do have some degree of influence over his in-game slide. So if you select that he left more than Tama behind, it's going to push him towards returning to Thirdborn after your adventure. If you select you made Tama's memory a burden, he's going to consider traveling the world after his adventure. And if you say that he's choosing to give up, Kai is going to basically leave his future open, saying he's done running away, but hasn't decided what he's running towards. Once you have done all that, you've finished Kai's personal quest, but there's still one last check that you need to pass. In Shatterscarp, towards the entrance to Shark's Teeth, you can talk to an NPC called Miapo, and he'll give you a quest called Don't Look Down that has you climbing to the top of Tego's tower. There are a ton of traps here, so if you happen to have a necklace that makes you immune to trap damage, it's going to be extremely useful in this area. Regardless, when you reach the top of the tower, you're going to run into two people, and it is important that you do not allow them to continue their plans at the top of the tower. You basically have to convince them to leave. I believe it doesn't matter how you convince them, so I was able to do it diplomatically, but if you end up having to kill them, I don't think that necessarily turns Kai off either. But regardless, you cannot end the quest with them still at the top of the tower doing what they've been planning to do. Now, once you have finished all of that, there's an extra step that I think a lot of people are probably missing. Every time you talk to Kai, there's an option that says, I've got questions about you. And there's no indication that you would have new dialogue options under that selection. But if you have properly completed all of the checks and you ask him questions about himself, you'll have a brand new option saying, I feel like we've gotten to know each other, haven't we? And this leads to a series of conversation options where you can repeatedly confess your feelings and make it clear that you want more from Kai. And eventually he makes it clear that he feels the exact same way. Once again, there's no kissing scene, there's no sex scene that results from this. It's more like an agreement between the two of you that you care about one another, that you are more than just friends, and that you want to explore these feelings more once this current adventure has finally completed. I think it's fascinating that Obsidian decided to go this route. So Carrie Patel said in an interview that Obsidian kind of doesn't like the metagame of setting up companions for romances, right? And of course, that's obvious from some of their previous games. I've talked about this before on the channel. And this seems like it's almost a middle ground, right? Where you are not constructing this character around having a romance, but at the same time, you provide a little tease of a romance for people who like that kind of content. It's a very, very interesting middle ground. And obviously, this isn't as strong as what we've gotten from games like Dragon Age or The Witcher or Cyberpunk, etc., etc. But at the same time, I do believe it's better than just having absolutely nothing. And I did enjoy that sequence with Kai. I think Kai is just a great party member all the way around. Going through this and unlocking it on the stream makes me even more interested in the NPC romance that you can potentially unlock. So I definitely plan to play through the game again and see about unlocking that. And I'll make another video once I've experienced that content. If you all enjoyed this video, I'd definitely appreciate you leaving a like, subscribe to the channel if you want more Avowed content. And of course, we're going to be doing more Pillars of Eternity content as well. Looking forward to hearing all your feedback down below. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. Take care.